Throughout the years, Scotland has been fighting for their independence from the United Kingdom. This fight has been called Soar Alba by the Scottish citizens, which translates to Free Scotland.
It all started after King Alexander III of Scotland died in 1286 and left his 3-year-old granddaughter Margaret as his heir. In 1290, the Guardians of Scotland signed the Treaty of Brigham, agreeing that Margaret will marry Edward of Carnarvon, the son of Edward I, King of England. Edward of Carnarvon was Margaret's great-uncle. This marriage would not create a union between Scotland and England because the Scots insisted that the treaty declared that Scotland was separate and divided from England and that its rights, laws, liberties, and customs were wholly and inviolable, preserved for all time.
While Margaret was traveling across the Scottish border towards her new kingdom, England, she died. After her death, the two leading competitors for the Scottish crown were Robert Bruce, 5th Lord of Annaden, and John Balliol, Lord of Galloway. Fearing that a civil war would happen between the Bruce and Balliol families and supporters, the Guardians of Scotland wrote to Edward I of England asking him to come north and arbitrate between the candidates in order to avoid civil war.
William Wallace, a Scottish landowner, was one of the main leaders during the First War of the Scottish Independence. Along with Andrew Moray, he defeated an English army at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297. Sir William became the Guardian of Scotland until he was defeated at the Battle of Falkirk in July 1298. In 1305, Wallace was captured and handed over to King Edward I of England. Between 1979 and 1997, there was no other reform proposed. Soon, on September 11, 1997, a second Scottish devolution referendum was held. This dispute is still going on, and the third referendum for the Scottish citizens to vote for independence from the United Kingdom is on September 18, 2014.
During these disputes, the important occurrences and dates are the ones of the first wars, deaths, and 3 referendums. The death of King Alexander III of Scotland in 1286. The death of Margaret on September 26, 1290. On June 11, 1291, King Edward I met with the Guardians of Scotland. The first wars were in 1296, which was led by William Wallace, in 1306, which was led by Robert the Bruce, and in 1314, which was led by military campaigns and diplomatic initiatives. The dates of the 3 referendums are March 1st of 1979, the second on September 11th of 1997, and the third date will take place in September 18th of 2014.
The first proposal for Scottish devolution was put to a referendum on March 1st, 1979, but resulted in no change due to a clause requiring that the number voting yes had to exceed 40% of the total electorate.
Some reasons that have been stated in favor of Scotland to become a state are the principle of self-determination. The people who live in Scotland will be making decisions for Scotland themselves. Control over defense and foreign policy, which means that Scotland can choose, for example, to no longer have nuclear weapons in its seas or no longer be part of NATO. Access to North Sea oil and a great amount of renewable energy, which gives greater funding for Scottish government. Another reason why Scottish citizens wish to divide from the United Kingdom is because they don't want their ethnicity and traditions to slowly fade with the English customs. And the last reason would be that if Scotland separates from the United Kingdom, it would have the chance to become a core in Western Europe.
If Scotland becomes independent, it will return to its previous constitutional state of dynastic union, which is a kind of federal state.
This dispute has been going on for a long time, and we believe that it should be over in the next referendum on September 18, 2014. This centrifugal force should be over so that Scotland can be independent, and the 2 states can become important in Western Europe.
This is a historic opportunity to mobilise our natural and human resources to build a very special society here in Scotland.
I think Scotland would be better off in the United Kingdom, I do think that, but I think the United Kingdom would be so much worse off without Scotland.
There was a way in which the version of Scotland as British wasn't contested.
What I do remember feeling is a sort of cringe about being Scottish.
Come on in.
And the way I spoke.
What a put it.
This is the first barrel of crude oil to come out of the North Sea.
And then Aberdeen voted for tax raising powers, which clearly indicated I thought the writing was on the wall.
I would vote for independence for no other reason than just to never have to take part in something like Iraq ever again.
The Parliament has created a newfound confidence and a refreshed sense of identity.